Hi, and welcome to Week 9 in EDE 201. I hope you all had a wonderful spring break that was very restful and relaxing, and I hope you're also ready to begin the second half of the semester and finish it strong. So believe it or not, we are getting near the end. So this week, in Week 9, we're going to continue learning about microfinance. You're going to start by reading Chapter 12 in Half the Sky, which goes into this concept of economic empowerment a little bit more. In addition to the chapter this week, you're also going to read the short article, Empowering Women Through Microfinance. This article gives some really good information on microfinance programs for women, but also, at the very end of it, touches on some barriers with this approach. So it's very important to examine a possible solution from different angles and perspectives in order to make it effective. So keep in mind that what we perceive to be excellent solutions may not work in all contexts. Even this concept of educating others may not work the way we think it might. We're going to talk about that in future modules as well. So I want you to consider these questions as you read this article and then also Half the Sky. In the opinion of the authors of the article, what's holding back the effectiveness of microfinance programs? What do they suggest, and is that feasible? So I want you to infuse your own opinions and your own analysis a little bit into your discussion posts and your discussion comments and reading reflections, as always. So also this week, you're going to learn more about Muhammad Yunus, the creator of the concept of microfinance. Yunus is an economist. He's an economics professor that realized that it didn't take an investment of a whole lot of money to start some people out of poverty by giving them the startup capital for their own business, just like we talked about a couple weeks ago. So he started this in rural Bangladesh. He realized that even just an investment of a couple $100s or less can really help some people get out of poverty. So I want you to watch the video Pennies a Day in our Week 9 module about Yunus's Grameen Bank. We read a little bit about this in Chapter 11, but this video really goes into a lot of details about the trust groups that he helped set up, how women are actually using this money to empower their villages. So it's kind of a visual representation of the last module that they did. So the video is about 9 minutes long. It's a little bit longer of the videos that I've presented to you so far. So I want you to really make sure that you allocate some time to watch it. It's a really great supplement to the reading this week and last time. So if you have time, or if you're choosing the book review assignment, another thing you could do is read Yunus's latest book, which is called Building Social Business, the New Kind of Capitalism that serves humanity's most pressing needs. That's the big long title of the book. If you just Google Building Social Business, you might be able to check it out. If you are looking for a book to complete for the book review assignment, this might be a good one. He writes about how, in this book, how microfinance can be a great solution to ending poverty, but he also describes this concept of social entrepreneurship, which is, we touched on this a little bit before, but social entrepreneurs create products or services that address community needs. Often social entrepreneurs benefit from microfinance loans to get their businesses off the ground. So these two concepts are really quite closely intertwined, and Muhammad Yunus is really kind of like the genius behind both of these. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about a research study that I did. So these are concepts that are really close to me because as an education professor, I'm looking into ways that we can tell our students about the concepts of microfinance and social entrepreneur. So I recently did a research study on teaching elementary students about microfinance. And so basically, how this came about for me is state standards in social studies require upper elementary students to learn about economics concepts like goods and services, how a business works, what profit is, all that kind of thing. And I wanted to see if students would learn more about increasing their own civic engagement, like if they would learn more about how to be a community leader, if we taught them these economic concepts by running a social business, or if we talk to them about borrowing, interest, and loans, if we talk to them about it in this context of microfinance, instead of how economics is usually taught in elementary school about running a business for your own personal profit or your own personal gain. So my study showed that students actually showed an increase in their awareness of broader problems because once I had them run a social business, because then they had to actually choose a community need to address. So the students actually, in my study, worked in small groups to create their businesses. So my study showed that they actually learned about the value of working together to make a change in their community. And most importantly, when the students in my study ran their social businesses, they were very successful. They actually succeeded in contributing to the construction of a youth homeless shelter in the town that I did the study. So this actually showed the students that it is definitely possible to be community change agents. They started with a very small microfinance loan of $10 that I gave them, and they turned it into $800 of profit from their social businesses, not the total revenue. The revenue was much higher for their businesses, but they turned it into $700–800 of profit. So they learned, in addition to doing that, they learned the economic concepts that they were supposed to learn anyway from their state standards. So the curriculum that I used that can help really guide teachers to helping their students with this work is called One Hen. And it's based on a story the story is also called One Hen, and it's about a boy named Kojo who gets a loan, small microfinance loan, and he uses it to buy one hen to build his business, and then he sells the eggs that hen lays and buys more hens, and so on and so forth. So it shows the students through this story, which is a true story. It's a fictionalized true story, but it shows them that you don't have to start with a big, giant business loan in order to be an entrepreneur. You can start with something very, very small, and you can give something very, very small to help others. So I co-wrote this curriculum with a nonprofit group, and I piloted it in several schools over the last few years. So the blog post that I had you read for last week's or last module is a description of my most recent experience doing that, the most recent study. So it's really interesting. I'm definitely looking to expand this all over Michigan. I'm working with another group called Entrepreneur, spelled H-E-R at the end, that's helping to empower young girls in elementary and middle school to be possible future social entrepreneurs. So this is really, really kind of an interesting form of research for me and a topic that's really close to my heart. So I want you to know also that Flint has a community of people that are really committed to giving microfinance loans to entrepreneurs. So in addition to the entrepreneurs that you researched in the last module through the Kiva website, you probably saw a lot of people there looking to start businesses that are in and around Flint. But there's also a group in our area called Flint Soup. Flint Soup hosts dinners around Flint, which are really avenues for entrepreneurs to pitch their business ideas. So what happens is that you cost the general public $5 to get dinner at a local establishment once a month. Flint Soup will set up these dinners, and everyone's $5 entry will go to a particular entrepreneur that makes their pitch at the event. So usually they have about 4 or 5 business owners, people that want a microfinance loan, and they'll pitch their event, or they'll pitch their idea at this event, and then the audience votes on the person to give their loan to. And so then everybody's collective $5 gets pooled together and goes to the winner of the night. If you're a Facebook user, Flint Soup has a Facebook page. You can like them on Facebook if you just search for Flint Soup, and then you can get all of the updates from them about when their most recent events are, when the next Flint Soup event is. They're also on Twitter at Flint Soup, so you can search for Flint Soup and Twitter. They don't tweet as much as they update Facebook. So if you really are interested in getting to one of their events, it's kind of neat. You're not only get dinner for $5, but you get to be a participant in this microfinance community around here. Their next event is actually Sunday, March 30th at the Riverside Tabernacle in Flint at 5 p.m. So even though this is not an event that's sponsored by the Women's Educational Center, I will count this as an event for those that chose this assignment. So remember, if you chose that WEC assignment, you have to go to 2 events over the course of the semester and write a discussion post about it. So I will count this Flint Soup event on March 30th as one of your events that you want to go to if you decide, if you're doing that assignment. Just make sure you go. It will cost you $5 though, right? But it's going to somebody that really, really needs it. So it'll be well worth your money to do that. So if you decide to go for that assignment, write up a discussion post about what you learned and what you did, and that'll count for that assignment. Even if you're not doing that assignment, I highly recommend going. It'll be kind of neat. I haven't been able to get to a Flint Soup event yet, but I think this one in March is focused on social entrepreneurs. So they're not always people that are looking to start social businesses, but sometimes they are. They had a fashion-themed one back in December as well. So sometimes they have particular themes that go along with it. So it's a great, great opportunity to get involved in Flint's microfinance community. Also, if you feel like you want to donate to Kiva, I really think that's a great opportunity to actually get involved with elements of this course. I mean, even for something as a small amount as $25, which you will, of course, hopefully get back from the entrepreneur later, can be really simple. You know, if any of you ever donate to the holidays or donate to different causes, you might want to consider loaning money instead. That's another really great way to contribute, knowing that you're empowering somebody else. So just something to think about. Not required for the course by any means, but something to think about if you're thinking, man, how can I get more involved in this? There are opportunities around us here in Flint, in Michigan, through the Kiva website, through Flint Soup, where you can certainly do that. So, speaking of assignments, I'll wrap up here. I want to remind everyone that I return assignments through Blackboard always. So far, the assignments that were not discussion posts or comments include reading reflections, the news article reflections, and the global and U.S. issues presentations. Those were all physical documents that if you chose any of those, you handed in last week or these weeks throughout. So I always return those through Blackboard. I give you your score and attach a Word document with my comments and feedback on those assignments with your score. So if you're wondering about feedback for those, if you're having that's where they are. So if you're having trouble accessing these documents, please let me know. I don't really know what the student version of Blackboard looks like, so I just know where I upload the documents. You have to figure out a way to get them back. So if you're having trouble, let me know, or you can call ITS. They might be able to help you as well. Also, since we are in the second half of the course, you also have a limited time to complete the rest of the assignments for the course. So it's probably a good idea to get moving on, if you chose the WEC events, to get moving on planning which events you're going to go see. Remember last module I mentioned that I added a ton of events because the WEC, the Women's Educational Center, added a ton of events about human trafficking onto their slate. So I added that to the WEC events assignment, plus this Flint Soup thing is a possibility. Some people have been proposing possible events that I did not hear about. I'm always welcome to hear about those. So if you think what event might fit and it's not on the list or I haven't mentioned it, email me, let me know, and I can we can talk about whether or not it would be a good opportunity for you. But either way, if you chose that assignment, you really should be planning which events you're going to get to so that you can make sure that you have the opportunity to get to 2 before the end of the semester. If you chose the regional issues paper, that is not due to the end of the semester, but requires a considerable amount of research, and it should be quite a, it's a 3 to 5 page paper with your analysis, so it's going to take you a while to really flesh out. This is not an assignment you can do at the last minute. So you might want to start considering choosing your region, choosing the issues that you want to address, and start looking for sources. And then also if you chose the book review assignment, that's the other major assignment for this course, the Row 1 assignment. If you chose that one, again, that's quite a considerable paper that you have to write, and it also might involve you reading a book of considerable length. So you might want to make sure that you're choosing one, you've chosen a book already, and that you're going to get started reading it so you have plenty of time to read it, take notes, and write a big paper on it. So I think what I will do in the coming weeks here is actually make separate videos talking about those assignments so that I don't clog up our main video talking about them. So I look for some videos later explaining the regional issues paper and the book review assignment especially, because those are 2 really big ones. So if you chose those, you want to watch those videos probably next week. So remember, for this week, if you chose the discussion post or comments assignment, those need to be made by Sunday, March 16th at 11:59 p.m. If you chose the reading reflections assignment and you're writing one of your 5 reflections this particular module, then that also needs to be submitted to the Dropbox on Blackboard by Sunday, the 16th, and then continue to tweet your thoughts this week as well, and let me know if you need anything. As I am filming this video right now, it is International Women's Day, so happy International Women's Day. Pass on any resources you see and thank the women in your life that have helped you in yours. So hopefully you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.